All right. If you're tired of working for money and want your money to work for you, and now you're trying to build wealth through business, real estate, and smart investing, this is a life for you. Before we start diving into our topic today, which is our first live, talking about our framework, the ultimate framework of investing, trying to invest our way to financial freedom, I would like to introduce myself. If you haven't been following me, I would like to just mention that I am ElBozo from Comic Group. We are a simple we want to build a simple community of investors because we believe that our main mission is to simplify the financial market and making the financial world simpler for everybody. And by doing so, we want to build a community of investors. And that way, we want to try to gain control of our life and regain our dignity. This is why today we want to start our series, Invest Your Way to Financial Freedom, so we can share with people what we learned through this journey and try to inspire the next generation of investors for the next few weeks at 5 p.m. No, I'm sorry. For the next few weeks at 8 p.m. Central Time, we'll break down the different part of this simple framework that we have for simple investors so they can invest. And today, in our introduction, we want to start by talking about the investment mindset that I learned through my journey, my experience, and also the biggest myth about investing, and also why it's important that we start investing now more than ever. And we propose a simple format for this. Simply, we want to talk about at the beginning of our series. We want to start like talking about the market, just kind of get a feel of what's going on in the business community or investing community. And also, we want to start our topic by our main topic by just simply give you guys a quote, some motivational words, and also dive deep in the topics that we have to share with you. And at the end, we're closing with some Q&A. Maybe you get some questions, and also try to share ideas so we can build that community of investors. Uh, yes. So now let's talk about the market. What's going on in the investing world? As you can see, there is, maybe you guys already know, there is a lot going on in the stock market. There's a lot of volatility in the business community. This week only, you'll see a lot of sell-off, especially um, from Tuesday to Thursday yesterday. We have a lot of up and down in the market. I think all those big tech companies like Amazon, Palatine, they all investing heavily in AI infrastructure, which is, a little bit deserving for the investors because a lot of time they spending a lot of money, but you don't really see what are the revenues for this amount of spending they're doing. So, in that regard, I think market take a big hit this week. But today, at the end of the session today, we have a lot of companies bounce back. So that was good, and we are able to ourselves as investors take advantage of it, and we had got a chance to take some position in some stocks, so which is good. As investor, you wanna buy the dip, like they say. So we would like to share with you guys couple of our best stock that we investing this week, which is Microsoft, Google, Palantir, and Syndic. Especially Syndic is one of the stock that if you guys haven't investing yet or you're already investing, you gotta look into it because it's already about 1,000 up this past 3 months, I think. And what to expect for next week in the market? I think investors would like to be pending about what we call the consumer price index, which is the CPI data. It's coming up on the Friday 13. This is like a measure data that the government usually will use to determine if the market is too hot, if there's a lot of inflation, so they can raise the interest rate to cool off the market. So that data will come up. I think there gonna be a lot of more volatility in the market this time. So this is something like, as investors, you guys will have to take in consideration, especially the next week that coming up. So just pay attention. At the end, market gonna be volatile. You want to position yourself to, you know, buy the dip. When things down and discount, you always want to have some cash aside to start investing and take advantage of that. So that's it for us for our big pictures about this week and next week. So now we're going to talk about the topic today. I would like to share with you guys a quote to start with. It's from Warren Buffett. He says, "The best investors you can make is an investment in yourself. And more you learn, more you earn." With that being said, the key for us is that you need to start growing your wealth and start focusing deliberately on learning the right step to achieve your financial freedom. And that was we start doing this a few years. We start doing this a few years ago. We start learning, but was not always like that for us. I grew up, especially I grew up, it was not, I grew up in the south of Haiti. I grew up in a very bad neighborhood, and I've seen a lot of hardship, financial hardship. I see a lot of poverty. And since I know that, Haiti was a poor country, so I didn't really understand really the complexity of poverty and how financial hardship affect people because it was just normal. Um, but I think what was shocking for me, especially 20 years ago when I moved in the US, as you know, the US is one of the most powerful economy in the world. And I always was shocked to see that, there was a lot of poor people around, especially, there's a big gap between the rich and the poor, especially for black people. I see like me, black people who have to deal with a lot of challenges, in order to make ends meet, in order for them to become to survive. I see a lot of suffering, especially with the black community. And uh, as a positive person, I didn't understand, like, I'm always say, okay, maybe, if I just keep being positive and, do what I need to do, I will be fine. So that was my mindset. And that's why I go back to school and I went and got my master's and start working very hard. And as I'm continue to work and enjoy my work as a nurse, I start like talking to my talking to my patients, and a lot of the patients that I see, they telling me, "Oh, you know what, Mark? You know what? There is, I lost my job, and the minute I had a good job, for example, and the minute I lose my job, now, I cannot do anything, because I was sick, you know." I lost my job because of sickness, and the minute you start not working because you're sick, and then they lose everything. They lose their house, they fall behind and everything, and then they're um, losing everything. So for me, it was really shocked because I was like, wow, you know this could happen to me. Because if I'm like not working one day, either or I'm sick, or even if I was working as a nurse, if I don't have PTO, I can't get money. I might be, falling back, and I might not survive like this other person. That's what I start thinking, huh? I realized that the path that I was going, it was not the way to go, because my happiness or my well-being was tied to my job. And that's what I start like looking into investing. And I found um, the power of investing by reading books like the Rich Dad Poor Dad, the one that I have right now. I don't know if you guys can see. And also, I found, um, also I was reading this book too, The Millionaire Next Door. Uh, those are the two main books that really shaped my mentality to be like, oh, okay, you know, there is other ways to do it. There is a way to do it that you don't have to just stick with, oh, if I don't go to work, I don't have money, or if I'm not really like having money, work, if I'm like really not punching in, so I can't live. Like I feel like with after I'm reading those books and I'm also approaching people who have, more wealth, like, they are talking to me about how, by investing, you don't have to really tied up with a job. Your 9 to 5 is a good thing. It's something that can help you build wealth, but it's not just, it's not tied to your wealth. And so that's why, I start, this great journey of investing. And that's exactly why I really decided, hey, you know what? If I can help somebody, inspire the next generation of investors, that will be my satisfaction. To be honest, I don't really, people who know me, I don't really care about, being a star on social media or anything like that. I just want, literally, I wish like when I come to the US, somebody will come to me saying, hey, you know what? Do this, do that. You don't need to just work and then always feel like you still cannot make your end meet. You can find way to invest so you don't have to worry about your future. So, with that being said, so how many people we know that that's suffering because they just don't have money? People are treating them bad just because they don't have money. So I feel like there is a aspect of investing, which is for us, is that regain your humanity, regain your dignity as a person. So if you can do that, you don't have to count on people to tie you up to a job or to tie you up to so you cannot do what you have to do. You might want to, you know, how many times, you're working and then you can't even take vacation because your boss say no. I know so many people who their family might have issues, and they want to go to their kids party and then they can still make it because why? Because the boss say no. So if you like start investing and you're able to like grow your portfolio and not relying on just your job, that will be what we call financial freedom. And that's what we all aim to have. And we believe that and Commit Group that you guys deserve it. And that's why we're inviting you guys to join us in this very ambitious, I will say, dream to build a community of investors. It doesn't need to be struggling every day. It doesn't need to be like, you know, I'm not sure about my future. It can be about you embracing the journey of investing so you can be financially free. So before we start, we go to the next topic of our live today. We would like you to like start a job. If you guys haven't really done so, you can share this live with your friends and also help them join us to create this community of the next generation of investors. Um, so now, let me see. We got some people in the live that we want to share. Shout out. Thank you so much for everybody who joining. We want to remind you this is our series of Invest Your Way to Financial Freedom, where we want to build a community of investors to take control of our life, to have our dignity back. So now I would like to start like this other segment of our live today, which is the common myths that I see in the investor community. some myth that people have about investing. The first myth is I need money to invest. I will start investing when I make money. I can tell you that I know I'm not trying to be insensitive. I know this is a tough economy. I know right now, things are not good for many people. But I also know as an investor, I've seen so many ways that you can start investing. I'll give you an example. In the stock market, you don't need a lot of money to start. The key is to start. Every day I'm in the market, I'm seeing, for example, stock like starting to less than a dollar. And then like the next you buy it for a dollar, and then the next hour the stock is like $14. So imagine if you would have investing $100 for that day, and then now your stock passed to be $14. So you already gain like $1,400 just on that single that single stock. We went like 1,000%. So it's very common that you see one stock you buy for a dollar, and then the next hour it's like 1,000, 5,000%. I'm not kidding. So that's a huge opportunity. You could have make money just by investing $1. So as far as not having money to start the investing market, I think this is more like something like you don't really understand. Like you got to understand that you can start as little as $1 in the market. And the key is to be consistent, stay disciplined, and more than ever, today is the time to start. It's not about how much money you have to start, it's about start. Habit scale, problem also scale. So if you have the all you need to have is to have that determination to really start, take the next step, learn the basic that you need to know to start. Even if like you start with a dollar, $5, $10, it doesn't matter. It's a journey. It's starting with the minimum you can and get the right information to make sure that you are okay for to take your investment to the next level. Again, we have in this series, this is the first time we have so many days, we have so many series that's coming up that we are gonna start like talking about it. And the next myth is basically they say investing is a gambling. But I can tell you, for example, Buffett say investing should be rational. It's not guessing. That's when you need to educate yourself. The reality is gambling is guessing, but investing is based on strategy, risk management, and time. Speculation is gambling, investing is ownership. When you invest, you try to own part of a company, and you make sure that you do all your investigation before you even buy that ownership in the company. So that's when financial education come through. You need to know how to analyze the balance sheet of a company. You need to know, for example, the revenues. Like look at what's going on with the company revenues and how they're investing, so you can make sure your part of the ownership is guaranteed to grow at some point. The third myth I see also people always talk about is, for example, real estate stock are too risky right now. Risk is part of the business. Risk come from, if you just think risk is a problem, I can tell you like every single day we take risks in life. The biggest risk is staying unprepared. I can compare investing like a boxing ring. If you try to train to fight like a boxer, you got to start. You cannot just be on the sideline and try to prepare yourself, but you never go to the ring. So you need to start going into the ring, start punching, and start being punched in order for you to really get to know how to strategize. And it's no different than investing. If you just like thinking, oh, it's too risky, you're not gonna start investing. So then it is not gonna work. You're gonna make mistake. There's no investor that doesn't make mistake. Every single day we on the market, we investing, we taking risk. So risk is part of it. But now it's when you like the biggest risk you take is not being prepared. So if you don't prepare yourself, you just gamble. So that's why we are doing this series to educate people on how to invest, so they don't think like investing is that scary for them. With that being said, we think like as far as investing goes, today is the time to start. If you haven't started yet, it's time to really embrace the fact that now is the time. Because if you look at it, if you have money saving somewhere in the bank, and inflation itself is killing that money, it's devaluating that money. So you wanna, as soon you can, you wanna put that money in very high yield interest investment that can grow your capital instead of devaluating your money. Your asset, it's growing your money. So this is why we create this ultimate framework to help you embrace the investment strategy that we have to achieve financial freedom. It's simply based on the fact that you have a positive net income from reducing your expenses and increasing your income. So you can have a positive net income, and with that positive net income you're going to invest part of it in stock market, for example, more liquid asset like the stock market. And also you're going to, the other portion of it, you're going to invest it in more illiquid asset like real estate. So it was very it's a very simple way to start investing. Keep it simple. That's our goal. We don't want it to be complicated. We don't want to complicate it, the market or the investing. We were trying to make it very simple for anybody to really get to the market and embrace the journey of becoming financially free. And as far as our next session is going to be next week, we're going to have another section every Friday. From now on, every Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time, Chicago time, we're going to start getting deeper into the investing world. For next week, we're going to be analyzing deeper the investment framework. We're going to start talking about what are the steps that you need to have first before you even start investing. We're gonna talk about invest income versus asset, while focusing on business income instead of a W-2. So that's what we're gonna be talking about next week, and we wish like you guys can join us the next following week. So now I'm gonna stay in to see if there is more people who wanna join our chat. And if there is no question, so we're gonna be seeing you guys the next and for the next few weeks, and to discuss more about mm, our strategies when it comes to start investing. I'll see you next time.